ask for a motion approving minutes of the last meeting. Motion by Peter, seconded by...
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, action item, parcel, Warrensburg parcel 211.17-2-43.2.
That parcel, we had discussed in the past, but it's been on my pending items. This is the little 6-foot strip that, was at one time part of this neighboring property. We offered it to her. She didn't want it. It was one of the ones we brought in the spring, along with the Hague property. Hague property we've taken care of. We're finally, hopefully, at a resolution here with the, Warrensburg property. Chairman Garrity and, the town assessor from Warrensburg went to the other neighbor's, other neighbor's home and spoke to Mrs. Reynolds, to see if she was interested in it. I know, the last time I had been up there, you could tell that they were mowing it anyways. So they did go and speak to Betty Reynolds, and according to the assessor in the town of Warrensburg, I haven't had a chance to speak with Chairman Garrity about it, but, she is interested in the property. So we would like to move forward the way that we did with the property in the town of Hague. So I have a couple of resolutions here, for that property as well. So what we did in Hague, because these were, I don't wanna call them nuisance properties, but properties that had been repetitively in the auction and we could not, they would sell for $10 or whatever, and they'd be right back in the next year because the second bidder didn't want them, and people found out what they were. And this being a 6-foot strip between two, parcels really is invaluable to anyone else. So, the first resolution is to delete the outstanding taxes and charge back to the, proper entities. The outstanding taxes are in the amount of $312.09. And then the second resolution that would go with that would be a resolution request to transfer the Warrensburg the title on the Warrensburg parcel to Betty J. Reynolds and waive the Warren County recording fees of $55. And then my budget would become responsible for the New York State recording fees of $255. So the second resolution, I gave you a little attachment which gave you the breakdown of the fees that we would waive, which are the county fees, and then the New York State fees. So we have done this, we did do this in the spring with the parcel in the town of Hague. We just think that it would warrant to do the same thing with this property, to just get it back on the roll. We'd merge it into the neighboring property owned by the Reynolds, and then it would be back instead of a property that just repetitively goes through the tax foreclosure.
Right, so it's like 2/100ths of an acre, right?
It's, I think I listed it on there, let's see, .02, yep. Frontage of 6 and a depth of 145.
So the main idea is just get it back on the tax rolls.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then she'll amend, then we'll give it to her, right?
Yes, after we do this, and then we'll give it to her, and she'll merge it in with her property.
Okay. We have a motion then to authorize it. Okay.
I'll second.
By Peter, seconded by Doug. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried.
Okay. All the way down to the information for discussion and review. The first thing is just I wanted to do a little update on the Queensberry property on Harold Drive in Queensberry, which is 308.10-1-65. This was the property that we just talked about again last month. Ryan Wild was the one who has gone to the town of Queensberry and reached out to get all the approvals to be able to move forward and build a home on this property. He has come in, he came into my office Friday afternoon and signed a purchase offer memorandum. so we granted him until the end of October, October 31st, to pay off. His bid as the second bidder was $11,000. However, at that time, he also became responsible for last year's school taxes, as well as this year's. Last year's school taxes were $4,290.48. So we asked just for a little more time instead of paying on Friday, so he has until October 31st to come up with the $15,290.48. And then the property, like I said, he's done this, he'll come in, he'll pay the treasurer's office, and then the county attorney's office would prep the deed, and, that would get recorded. He also pays the filing fees for recording of that deed, and any of the other paperwork that goes with it.
But we've already passed resolutions to give him till
We-
October 31st, right? So we don't need to do
We
anything
gave him
more
an
at this point.
extension actually until the end of the year, but when he said that he was ready to move forward, the date that we used on the purchase offer memorandum gave him until October 31st.
Okay. Okay, so I don't think we need any
No,
action in the
there's
committee.
nothing needed on that one.
Okay, Bolton parcel and Stony Creek parcel.
Okay, so we have, the Bolton parcel is a parcel that was on the tax foreclosure. I gave you, I think, did I give you a little printout map? Yes, in the letter, the map's right here. The town of Bolton has inquired on this property, so what we've done in the past is if a town is looking to purchase something after the foreclosure process goes through, they send us a letter with their intent on what they're looking to do. It's been discussed by the town board up in Bolton Landing, so Supervisor Conover sent me a letter, saying that they're interested in purchasing that property from us. And what that happens in those cases is that they, purchase it for the outstanding taxes, or I believe it's a third of the market value, or whichever is less. So the outstanding taxes would be the figure, which would be $487.09. But what has to happen is it has to go through, the foreclosure process, and then once we foreclose on it and actually take title, at that point, we can, then convey it to the town.
So do we have to have an appraisal also to know what 1/3 of the market
No,
is?
because they're at 100%, so we went
Yeah.
by the market value that is there.
Okay, by the
That's
assessed,
on
by
the
the assessed
assessment.
value.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the 487 is less than the market, 1/3 of the market?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Okay.
And then, the property that's in Stony Creek, that is a piece of property that I've had discussion with, our county attorney, Town Supervisor Thomas, Jeff Tennyson, and also Paul Butler. If you look at the little map that I gave you, the property that runs straight through the middle is the county railroad. And this piece of property sits on both sides of that, even though it is one piece. And then it is surrounded on all four corners by National Grid. We really felt that it would be in the best interest because this was purchased at a prior tax sale by Randy Hitchcock, who's realized that he probably cannot get to that property. I have a little colored picture here, I think I included in your thing, but probably a little better there. You can't really get to it, and then it becomes an issue even if you could get to it, to get from one side to the other, you're now crossing over the railroad. So we really thought that it would be in the best interest to just take this property, through the foreclosure process, and then merge it into the county-owned property of the railroad.
Would National Grid have any interest in it?
Well, we had that discussion, and after Martin and I were talking, we kind of felt that with the way National Grid is right now, this would probably be the best matter, otherwise National Grid is liable to make us pay to give it to them. I think it would just be too much of a battle to try to get them to take this property.
Such an odd-shaped parcel, I just wondered how it ever turned out that way.
I'm not
Yeah.
really
Mike?
sure.
Several years ago, before it was National Grid, it was obviously, the Niagara
Mohawk, and we approached them at that time, and they had absolutely no interest or want in that.
Mhm.
You know how it was ever created though, or why? I mean, that is, like Fred said, a weird.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was ever set up that way, it's been on the tax maps like that since 1970, so.
Is there a brook or anything there that,
No.
that arch line? I wonder why that ever got.
There's some wetlands in there, but I'm not sure if that's
Mhm.
affecting that.
It's got
Yeah.
the river over here, and then
Mhm.
there is some little type of brook, but it's not anything you could ever do, you know, it's not like you
No.
could put a boat down it. Looks like maybe a canoe or a
Yeah.
kayak, but
Mhm.
I don't.
It's just
Rubber
one of those
ducky,
things
maybe.
that showed up on the
Yeah.
tax map that is just gonna be a pain to deal with, because nobody's ever gonna want it, taxes will keep running out there.
And if we put it back in, we'd probably be able to sell it again, but then they'd find out what they bought, because a lot of them don't do
Yeah.
their homework ahead of time, and then it would just come right back to us.
Yes. So what do we ask to do, just to convey it to Stony Creek?
No, convey it to the county of Warren, we're gonna
Oh, to Warren
retain
County, okay.
title, and we just wanna merge it in with the railroad. And I did speak with Jeff, and he thought that that was the best idea as well.
Mhm.
So, that's what we would like to do at a later date. We have to wait until after the foreclosure process
Right,
goes through before
right.
we can do any of that, and I'm not sure if Martin will want it to come back as a resolution at that later date, but I just wanted to discuss that stuff with you ahead of time, so we can move forward with that.
Meantime, somebody could bid on it to sale, but I think you're right, once they see what their bid,
Yeah, what we've
they
done though
bought,
is we've
they won't
actually
kinda-
pulled it out of the brochure,
oh, yeah, okay.
just because we really didn't think, well, should've probably waited until this
Yeah,
meeting, but
yeah.
we didn't think that it was a good idea to put it back through the sale.
It's been through the sale several times.
Okay, so I guess can we do a motion to approve both of these then, Bolton and Stony Creek?
Mhm.
Motion by Peter, seconded by Doug. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried.
Other than that, actually, I guess I should've put that on there, is my, budget, I didn't put that on my agenda.
Well, just before you get to that, maybe we should just update the committee that we've had, as usually happens, we've had a number of people that have came in after the last chance meeting, and Lexi calls me, and if the county attorney agrees, we had one who said they never got notice, but they were willing to pay what they owed, and we've had others that said they were gonna be in by whatever the deadline was, September
People we have
September
until September 30th, we've had different dates
We've
throughout
had
the month.
different things that, my theory has been, when she's called me on those things, that we have always had a policy of doing everything possible to allow people to keep their property, and so I've agreed, as long as the county attorney agrees, that it doesn't interfere with his process. So we've had probably 4 or 5 of them, I believe, Lexi, yeah. So I just wanted to put it on record that we've done that.
And along in the line of the auction, as of today, I still have 30, parcels on the brochure, and I really think there's a possibility of 5 more coming off before the auction, so that'll put us down to 25 parcels.
Yeah. So that's all good, I think, yeah. Okay, so then on to your budget.
Any questions? I don't know how this really starts,
You
so.
can leave now.
I know.
You can run out.
Can I please?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty set forth. I gave you the, amended amount for, well, I gave you all the way back from 14's actual, 15's adopted, amended actual, and then just my departmental request for this year. As you can see, I can tell you right off the bat there, the 1251 code, that one, decreased by like $4,714. The town clerk in Queensbury, collects for Queensbury School, and she decided she wanted to print the bills this year herself for the schools. This is a first out of our well, I shouldn't say that, there is a couple others that do it, but we do all the processing for them. Whereas this, because we get the file from the town of Queensbury Assessor's Office, so, they decided to process and print over there for the school. So that is the decrease in that code.
Mhm.
1251 you're talking about?
Yes, the school bill processing fees.
Mhm. Okay, any questions on the budget?
And bear in mind, I have two budgets there, the other one is just supplies to towns.
Is this what?
It's, the second one is
What
my
supplies to
1970, it's just supplies to town, and that's kind of a
Mhm.
wash, that's,
Mhm.
one of them is what we use to purchase the supplies, and the other one is what we charge out.
Right. Okay. Okay, the contractual looks like
Which one?
quite a bit less than the amended budget
On which one?
on the real 1355.
Okay, sorry. The contractual?
Yeah.
That's because I don't actually have any contracts. That contract is, money that comes in from the, what's that called?
Environmental testing fund.
For the, yeah, the
Okay.
reserve fund that's set aside, so any of the environmental testing that we do,
Right.
that money gets put into my budget throughout the year. That's the only,
We don't really know what we're gonna do.
no, so I don't have
We'll
any
do in the
money
year.
actually set aside for that.
Right, so we just amend the budget when we do it.
Okay.
Okay. Mhm. Okay, looks pretty straightforward to me. We wanna make a motion to approve both the budgets. Motion by Peter, second by Doug, all in favor? Aye, opposed, carried.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
That, anything else, Lexi?
That's all I have.
Any other business for the committee?
Nothing at this time.
Motion to adjourn, made and seconded, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Beautiful.